I'm going to do both a reading and a little review of a deck that I got just recently that I really enjoy, the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. This is a deck that was produced by Linzi Silverman, and I have become very fond of it, and I purchased both the mass market and the limited editions of this because I liked it so much. I'm going to use the mass market edition today to do a reading. I'm going to do a reading for Gemini. And I've already shuffled this deck, so I'll go ahead and do this reading. And what I want to do is use the booklet that came with it for the interpretations and just kind of give you an overview. What this deck does is it takes the tarot from a divine feminine perspective, and the intuitive nature of divine feminine is clearly apparent here. The booklet that comes with the deck is a nice little compact booklet with a lot of information in it from Linzi, and it talks about the deck. How what Linzi has done here is she's taken the images of the traditional tarot and converted them into archetypal goddesses of the divine feminine. And the descriptions that she's gone into hearken to the traditional tarot, but at the same time there's some differences in how things are organized and what those meanings are. And I think that her intuitive and original perspective on the tarot is really it's a really powerful sort of interpretation of the tarot, and I really like it. I noticed that my my chakra stones here were a bit out of balance, so I had them in a different order than they should be. So don't know why that's important, but it seemed important to me at the time. Anyway, I will go ahead and I will take this already shuffled deck and do my Gemini reading. So and these cards, I noticed that the mass market cards are a little sticky at first. I'm slowly, I've been using them for a little while, and I'm slowly getting them to free up a little bit. So I'm going to do this as just a lay down of the cards. So this is a reading for Gemini for November 13th using the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot. The heart of the matter is the Two of Wands. Gemini looks like they are in a situation where they are needing to make a decision. They have a choice. I'm going to go ahead and use the booklet for this, and I don't usually do this unless I want to find the specific readings, but that is really the heart of this deck, is that the readings are a slightly different take. The Wands energy, of course, as in the traditional, do talk of the element of fire, passion, creativity, spirituality, and ideas, energy and motivation. Wands are like the seed that gets planted, the match that gets struck. This is words directly from Linzi. the initiating moment, something begins to enter into our consciousness. There is a lot of talking about your purpose in the world, and the way that it's necessary to find the balance. Two of Wands talks about balance. It also talks about the thinking about the things that are greater than you, the things you've claimed, what else you feel called to make your own. It is a moment of choice, a way to manifest your highest desires. It talks about intention and goals and choice. So the choice, there's several things you can do now. Crossing energy for this is the Six of Swords. Now the Six of Swords in this deck is a person who is looking a little bit dispirited. She's disappointed, and she is tired. She is in a point of her journey where she wonders where she is and what to do next. The message in the card is that fear and anxiety, sometimes the swords in this way show us fear, anxiety, and things that can cause us pain. How can you break free of this energy? And it can talk about a time to rest and find balance. You need to feel your feelings, and I think that working through decisions in the Two of Wands, it is a good opportunity to look at the fears, the feelings, feel those feelings, and move forward. The balance that is needed in this is to release the emotional baggage so that you can move on. At the base of this reading is the Three of Pentacles. And as in the traditional deck, this talks about the idea of collaboration with a team, perhaps, of people. This can be a collaboration of energies. The wand that she uses here is talking about the creative element, and working with your passion, passion, creativity, and spirituality. So the three elements of collaboration are the creativity, the spirituality, and the passion. This can actually be talking about a project that you're working on. The project can be yourself. It is also talking about competence and teamwork and mastery and commitment. So you may find yourself in Gemini in a place where you are working on something where you need to harness those energies and to work with others. And so you have some doubts. You need to make a choice here, and you're essentially working that what was that? What were those words that I just said? You're essentially needing to work out what it is that you need to master to get through the collaboration, to collaborate effectively on this particular thing. Whatever it is, whether it is a creative or a work issue, whatever. It kind of feels like a little bit, it could be a work environment, just because of the Three of Pentacles talking so much about the skills that you need to muster to work to work on a project. It could be a creative project as well, or it could simply be mastery of yourself in the situation. So in the recent past, the Four of Wands And in this deck, the Four of Wands talks a lot about boundaries. That is something that I think that this card differs. It is really a card of stability and completion and joy. This in the traditional deck is an archway. That archway is here on the canopy. That represents abundance, denotes self union with, let's see, it denotes ideas of union. It can be the sense of alchemical marriage, the union of the really the union of the self and union of others and the self. It is a time that needs to be used to enjoy the work you've done and appreciate what surrounds you. The message that I got from this that was really important that Linzi talks about is the boundaries you create should call in what truly matters to you, and what world do you want to build and be part of. That is the beautiful aspect of that, is embracing the things that serve you and not the things that do not. It's a very grounded energy of joy and harmony. So that's in your past. Coming to the idea of stability and groundedness. And the crowning energy is the mystic. And the mystic is Linzi's take on the Hierophant, which is the traditional look at it. Our mystic is a mermaid goddess, and she is she's holding a wand. Again, the wand's energy, the creative energy. She is also in a state that it's implied that the moon in the image talks of the dream state. You notice there are keys. There's a book with keys. There is deep knowledge that is coming from the mystic. And the mystic is a creature of two worlds, the hidden and the seen. This is talking about a time when you are able to embrace your conscious and subconscious self. This is a time when spiritual wisdom is available, these mysteries that can be revealed. And I really like this take on the traditional, more the traditional institutional dogmatic. What would you say? I think that this is a fresh take on that. In the near future, you have the Empress, and this is another major arcana card. So we've got two major arcana cards in a row, and the Empress in Linzi's deck is earth energy. So this is a very grounding, a really grounding energy. The goddess in this image is really talking about the abundance and groundedness that is available to you. It talks about not worrying about having enough. There is abundance here. There is personal power here. There is no need to change yourself, and there is a belief in your personal power and a trust that you're strong enough to start from where you are. This is a card of nature and calling in the energies of nature. It is a great card for grounding. abundance, bounty, fertility. And I think that the imagery in these cards is just beautiful. So your energy right now, yet another major arcana card, freedom. This is the card that is in the traditional deck as the Chariot. And that is it's a really interesting take. There are many images in this card that are also relevant to the spiritual world and the physical world. There is a sense that there is much to be gained from letting go of expectations. If you're talking about the Chariot usually depicts a person driving two different energies, a dark energy and a light energy together. And this is a little more integrated. It is talking about action and determination, but it's trusting all of the various energies. There's a lot of wild energy underneath here, and it's all being encompassed into the power of this energy moving forward. So this is an excellent card to find here. Willpower, success, etc. So that's good. And in the environment, there's the Five of Wands. Now this is typically it can be a competitive energy. It can be combative in some cases. This is a person who, and it also talks about a victorious warrior who is pausing between battles. But our goddess in here is the victorious goddess, and she is ready to take on a challenge. So instead of being defensive, it's ready to take on more. It is actually also talking about finding yourself in a moment that you might have the need to shift some blocks that you're encountering and finding your flow. And one of the things that I like in this environment is that sometimes what may be needed is a shift in perspective rather than just fighting on. And also that at some point in time you may have to find the ways to let go of things when you feel like you've taken on too much. Finding your flow. So the goddess here is an environment where you are going to be able to move those blocks, sift out the things that are important that you really need to do, and get rid of those things that you don't feel are serving you at the moment. And in your hopes and fears is the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is another card of balance. In this case, it's finding confidence in your creativity. This is being able. This is really a talking about success. It's a successful balance. It's confidence. It's finding the power in what you are doing. In many cases, this is a need to. It's success. It's also being able to move forward. You are hoping for acclaim and success, and you are in a power you want to manifest. You're hoping to manifest, find acknowledgement, make progress, and move forward. And the outcome with this deck is, at this point, temperance. And temperance in this deck is as it would seem. There is a great deal of in this particular reading for Gemini, a balance. Knowing how to balance the two sides of the Gemini, because there is that you can see everything all at once. You can kind of see all sides of any matter. What you need to do is achieve, and I think that you will, and that as this is the outcome, you will achieve that balance. You will find yourself with a better sense of purpose, and you may be able to exercise a little bit more self-control. So if you have the ability to see all sides of an issue, sometimes it's difficult to make those decisions. At the bottom of the deck is the Nymph of Pentacles, and the Nymph of Pentacles is the page in Linzi's deck, and the Nymph of Pentacles is something that it would be again, it would be the Page of Pentacles, and that is an opportunity for learning. The Nymph of Pentacles in Linzi's deck talks about the this is a lot of this reading is about manifestation and intention, and finding your intention and learning. This is the Nymph in this deck is at the beginning of a new relationship or a new experience with earthly affairs. So if you've been in your head or you've been in the creative realm, you're going to find a way to move into the to manifestation, and the physical manifestation. This can be financial or business, and it is talking about an opportunity and learning, and you're learning to trust, and you're working with intention. The advice is to allow yourself to feel your energy and spread your blanket of luck, and that is really what was happening here. You are harnessing the power of the mystic and the Empress, and the Chariot in this case, and you're moving to manifestation and balance, and your energy is going to allow you to work with that to manifest some new opportunities and some new advances. I will go ahead and pull a couple of cards for advice now, and let's see if I can do this. So what advice do we have? What advice do we have out of this deck for our Gemini? And I may have to pull them a slightly different way because sticky cards kind of... Oh, here we go. We have the Ten of Wands. This card is really interesting. I can tell you that this talks about a person who, and we have the Spirit of Wands. So there's a great deal of opportunity here. To the Ten of Wands in Linzi's deck talks about an individual who's carrying around this burden of this energy. She's created this. She's really proud of it, and it's kind of her barrier. You can see that the image. The individual, this goddess, is holding this. I am proud of these things that I am carrying with me, and the thing is that it can be, it can stand in your way. You can see she's really kind of struggling with this, and instead of the burden of all of this work that you're carrying with you, this is a real thing. A real message of, yeah, you can lay these down because, yes, you have done this. You are at the end of this particular session of this particular cycle of your achievements. So just you can feel confident in laying these down and moving forward, because this is where you are. You have the mastery of this. Oh, look at this. We've got the Spirit of Wands and the Spirit of Swords. So we are in the energy. Let's see what else is here. The energy of the complete mastery. These are the King of Wands and King of Swords and the Ten of Wands. This is telling you you have got this. You are coming to a new understanding and a new truth through that Six of Swords moment there, that you are now ready to go forward and manifest. Your achievement is acknowledged. You can lay this down and you can start again. And what you will have is the resulting, oh, this is good too, the Three of Wands energy that is coming out. We've got the Spirit of Swords, the King of Swords. In this case, the Spirit of Swords Spirit of Swords and Wands is the King energy, and that is, the complete mastery of these elements, the swords, the wands, and the moon. The thing that we don't really have in this reading, which is interesting, other than the mystic and the Empress could be connected with, in some ways, the cups. But we don't see it a lot until we get here of the emotional energy. So this is a lot. I think that's why this is more of a material world sort of reading for you than it is a spiritual world reading. And being knowing that you've kind of been in your head with things, what this is telling you is that you have integrated these lessons and you are ready to move forward into your subconscious. And this is just awesome. This is the energy is all here for you. You can go now into your emotional realm, and what is happening for you is this moving forward in a very positive way, and this creative energy that is available for you here. That is fantastic. Now, I haven't gone through all of the cards in this deck, but I really find that the depth of the readings and the different takes on the cards are really, there's a wealth of a little bit different sort of perspective for things in here that I find really useful. And it makes you think quite differently about what the tarot says here. For it really, I really like it. Suffice it to say, I'm a fan. I haven't used this. Again, this is kind of sticky right now. The mass market deck is just a little bit sticky in how it in how it lays down. So you'll have to work with the cards until they sort of lose their. I think it's the coating that's on the back of them that makes them kind of sticky. It's almost like it feels like almost a magnetic attraction when the cards are laying one atop the other. But I think that as this coating kind of wears in, the nice thing about it is that it really is sort of a glare-free coating. But I actually prefer the limited edition, although the coating is slightly different, but the cards really don't stick together like the ones in the mass market edition. And the cards in the limited edition have this nice gold edging. So I have actually kind of run these in pretty well. They read and they move nicely in your hands. So I would say that if you have the opportunity to get the limited edition of this particular deck, that would be the one that I would purchase if you want to do readings with them right away. The only thing is, I wanted to get the mass market edition so that I could use that for my readings instead of wearing out these lovely cards that that come in the limited edition. So I will leave it there. This was not a solicited review. This is just this is a nice and original take on the cards from Linzi Silverman of Eye of Astro, and I really do like this. I really do like the images. I like the goddesses, the creativity that went into putting this together, the artistic nature of the cards, and how the slightly different approach to the tarot here. It really does. It's a rich perspective that is not in other decks of cards that I've seen. And I think I already said this, but I will leave it there. And if you liked this, let me know. If the message that for Geminis out there resonated, let me know. Thank you very much.